Hey y'all, it's April 23rd, 2016, and this video right here, this is long overdue. I had to get this off my chest. Alright, I've made reference to this before, but let me go ahead and lay this all out there for you to just think about, ponder about, and chew on. There are people out there, including people who are watching this video maybe, probably, they call themselves pro-choice. And this is in reference to babies, right? This is in reference to the idea of maybe or maybe not choosing to chop up babies up out of the womb and scrape them out and get rid of them, maybe even sell their body parts, which is a real thing that does take place. Right? They're out there. Perhaps even watching this video. Here's what I gotta stress to you: you're not pro-choice at all. You're actually pro-abortion. That's the choice that you love. That's what you want to make sure that women have the right to choose. Is the abortion part. If you're pro-choice, you would acknowledge that the best choice is to have a baby and not chop it up and murder it and scrape it out of the womb and discard it or sell the body parts. Right? A lot of these folks, they'll get at me. They'll get at what's called pro-life people. They'll say, man, you don't want women having choices. You're against women. You're terrible. Right? Not even acknowledging that half the babies that are chopped up and murdered and scraped out are future women. Right? So that doesn't make very much sense. Not only that, thing is, you can't really be pro-abortion at all without having one of two requirements. Number one is you got to love, you got to be infatuated, you got to revel in the idea and the concept of murdering babies. You have to be absolutely in love with it. Number one. Either that or number two, you have to be extremely ignorant to the process of murdering babies. You have to be one or the other, right? Because you really can't look at the process of murdering babies, like pulling apart their limbs, soaking them in acid, doing all sort of like sucking them through vacuums. You can't look at that process long enough and still think it's a good idea, unless you love it, unless for some reason you're in love with it. So it's the very ignorant, it's people who are completely ignorant to the process of abortions who are still valiantly fighting for pro-choice movements. Right? They do not have the heart to see cut up babies, right? Because they're cowards, in essence. However, I have seen cut up babies. I've seen it for what it is. I've seen the process for what it is. Check this out. It's disgusting. It's absolutely an abomination. All right, I just want to throw out one other thing. Check this out. There's been doctors who have performed abortions, tens of times, hundreds of times, even over hundreds of times, who have seen the light, and they've repented, and they say, guess what, dang, this is murder what I'm doing. I'm going to stop because I can't murder anymore. There are doctors out here who had done that. However, you'll be hard-pressed to find a doctor who has ever been pro-life, who's changed their position and say, hey, guess what? I think murder is all right now. I'm going to start murdering people. I know I was all about babies earlier, but now I'm just going to chop up babies and murder them, sell their parts. You're going to be hard-pressed to find it. You got to ask yourself, why is that? People make the transition from pro-abortion to pro-life, but it's never the other way around. Why is that? Why is that? Right? Comes back to ignorance. They'll argue, okay, well, you're against the choices of women, what to do with their bodies and stuff. First of all, I have no control over women. So, they go around and have sex with anything and everything that they can find, some of them. All right? That's their prerogative. Do them. I can't stop that, nor would I want to stop that. I'm concentrating on me over here. But they say, well, you're against women. You don't want them chopping up babies about their bodies, scraping them out. All right? Meanwhile, you're ignorant. Because there is basically a sea of evidence building, scientific studies showing that when you chop up babies about your body and scrape them out in a completely artificial sense, that's actually not good for ladies. That's not good for the ladies doing it to themselves. Right? And chances are your body's not going to understand why you're chopping up babies and scraping them out of you. And therefore, reproductive cancers and things, well, guess what? They become exponential every time you do it. It's as if ladies were going around and just smashing their own kneecaps, right? And they're just out in public smashing their own kneecaps. And then, as a person who's concerned for ladies, you went up to them and said, "Hey, I think you should stop smashing your own kneecaps. I don't think that's good for you." And then someone else behind you came up and said, "Hey, are you trying to take away her freedom of choice? She's choosing to smash her own kneecaps, all right?" What's wrong with you, right? That's her choice. The thing is, no, you got a mental illness if you're going around smashing your own kneecaps. It's not good for you. Similarly, it's not good for you to be chopping up babies about your body and scraping them out. That's also not good for you. It's called cancer. It's called disease. It's called messing up your body. There's women who die during the process. And there's all sort of women who get cervical cancer and all sort of other cancers after the process. It's just not a good idea. Right? And it's not a very good idea to be chopping up babies' body parts and selling them to God knows who. Meanwhile, that's not even necessary because our tax dollars at this point pay for abortions. And that's the other main issue. It's not the fact that ladies are getting abortions, because I can't control what ladies do, nor would I want to. However, I go to work and I pay taxes, and my tax dollars go directly to aborting babies, chopping them up, scraping them out, and that's actually a problem for me. That's actually the issue with most of these pro-life folks, is that they don't want to literally pay for it. They don't literally want to pay for all these wars overseas either. They're not cool with the idea of paying for the murder of other human beings. That's actually what the issue is. Me personally, and I feel like I speak for a lot of people, you want to abort yourself, go ahead and abort yourself all day. Go ahead and abort yourself left and right. Go ahead and abort yourself up and down. See if I care. I really don't, because I can't control what you do. But I would appreciate not having to pay for it. I would appreciate not having to pay for a stranger's birth control, in any sense. I would appreciate it if I didn't hear that babies were being chopped up, scraped out of the womb, and sold to the highest bidders for whatever secretive reason that they might want baby body parts. I would appreciate that. Right? Those are really the issues that are foremost on my mind. It's not the fact that I want to control other ladies and their wombs and stuff. Right? These are serious issues, but the thing is, they're issues that are totally and completely ignored by the willfully ignorant. Right? The explicitly communistic, socialistic mindset of people who, in their heart of hearts, are afraid to admit that they love the idea of murdering babies. Right? And they're very fuzzy on the idea of where a baby transforms into a human being who should have rights. I'm going to finish up like this. I'll go ahead and finish up with a verse from a book that most of y'all hate. Absolutely hate. Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5. Before I formed you, this is God. He's speaking directly to Jeremiah, but what a lot of y'all don't understand is these are principles. This is a book filled with not only history, science, and all that. It's a book filled with principles. So when God is saying this to Jeremiah, he's actually saying this to you. He's actually saying this to me. He's actually saying this to unborn babies before they get chopped up and scraped out. It says this: before I formed you, in the womb, I knew you. Basically, you had a name already. He knew you. You were his friend. Before you were born, I dedicated you. A prophet to the nations, I appointed you. This goes for every single baby. Right? They were not little specimens swimming around, just waiting to get chopped up and scraped out. No, in fact, they were human beings. They were prophets to the nation. And they were murdered. And inevitably, that was the will of God for these children who were children to be murdered. And that's a terrible thing. Right? I can't stop it. You can't stop it. None of us can stop the murder of these babies. However, it doesn't seem fair at all that we should have to fund the murdering of these babies in any sense. And also, it just doesn't seem very practical that we should take these murdered babies, chop them up, and sell their body parts, which is absolutely what is taking place. I mean, those are the real issues. And if you don't want to acknowledge reality, you're gonna pretend like I didn't say that. You're gonna pretend like you didn't hear that. And this crazy train's gonna keep running off the tracks. What that is a tribulation. Anyways, it's April the 23rd, 2016.